Hey everyone, Shabby Gamer here and welcome to a brand new series here at my channel. We are going back with a little bit of Football Manager, but not just any Football Manager, we are going back with the Gibraltar Challenge with our good old club, of course, Europa FC. Now if you've not seen this before, I did it a couple of years ago on FM 16 I think it was. We got about 10-15 seasons in the future and we did do pretty well actually. We got ourselves into the Champions League group stage, even managed to steal a point away from home at Barcelona as well. But it was still going to be a lot of work before we really broke the what we were aiming for. Because of course what we're aiming for in this playthrough, if you don't know already, the Gibraltar Challenge, essentially we want to win the Champions League with our club, which of course is Europa points. And we want to win the World Cup with Gibraltar. Now, I have changed a few things on this database that should make that a bit more achievable. Now, it's still going to take about 15-20 years to do, which probably is a lot quicker than what it should take, don't get me wrong, but it is going to make it a bit more easier. So what I've done is things have changed basically, right? First things first, I've been onto the Steam Workshop and I've downloaded the Gibraltar Nation, which you can get. It's been made by Sports Interactive, who make the game anyway, so you can download that. The only thing I've changed on top of that is I have added in a under 21s and a reserves league into the database, just so we can get our players playing regular football. The other thing I've changed is I've downloaded a mod that essentially makes every single nation in the world level when it comes to producing fantastic young players. So essentially, what the main problem we had last time is that we had the best youth academy in the world. We had the best possible youth academy you can have in our squad, but because the nation Gibraltar was quite low down, it was impossible for us to bring through fantastic players. We could bring through fantastic players for us, for Gibraltar, but they weren't going to be world beaters. They weren't going to be players that in 10-15 years time were going to be obviously playing at the top level or anything like that. So it was impossible to get that, but I have changed that now. Like I said, I've got a mod that literally puts every single nation on the maximum possible youth rating. So basically we could get fantastic young players from any country in the world. So Gibraltar, I've also downloaded the Luxembourg leagues. I've downloaded San Marino. The basic reason why I've done that is because obviously we start off, when we hit the Champions League in the first couple of seasons, we do play a lot of the lower nations clubs in the opening qualifying round. So I thought it'd be nice to have the likes of the San Marino League running. We've got the Luxembourg League running. We've got quite a few of those smaller leagues running. Of course, we can switch them off a little bit later on, but I thought it'd be interesting to see if they bring through any really good young players as well. I've also given us a little bit of a boost to start things off. We've got a little bit of money, as you can see. It's only 100 grand, and that's a lot more than what you should have, but I just felt that, of course, this is not going to be a playthrough dedicated to scrounging for the last penny and making. We can't do anything with it anyway, to be honest. I won't probably spend any of this to start off with. We won't probably buy any players in the first window. We'll try what we got. I think we have got a really good team, of course, because I've created the reserves and under 21s. The game has generated for us a under 21s set of regens and a few reserve players as well. So we'll have a look through those. But apart from that, I don't think I've changed much else at all, really. Literally just changed those two things. So added the reserves and under 21s, then made the youth across the world a lot better. So we should be able to get some good young players, of course, for Europa Point. However, we do start, remember, as a semi-professional club, so we're not going to be able to keep a hold of some of the best players. So the first few years we might see some of the top Gibraltar players that we do get through ended up going across Europe and joining some of the bigger clubs. And that's not a bad thing at all, because that means that the nation of Gibraltar will become very strong quite quickly and start to move up the rankings, because I believe we'll have a look. So we'll have a look at the quick club first. Of course, we are in the second division in Gibraltar. We're currently 5th, of course, because we haven't played a game. Our first league game is on the 22nd of September. So we've got a good couple of months before or 3 months before we hit that first league game. But we do have some friendly matches, which we might try and do all those free friendly matches in this episode. They're all in the next few days anyway, so that shouldn't be too difficult. And I would imagine we would win this league this year, hopefully, quite easily. Now, in the top division of Gibraltar, you do have a club called, is it Red Imps? There we go. Is it Red Imps? I remember correctly. Oh, here we go. Lincoln Red Imps. They are, I believe, the only professional club in the league. They were in the last one anyway, and they are a lot stronger. So this is the team that will probably dominate the majority of this league for the first season. But, you know, I was saying that Europa FC won the league last year, so that's interesting. That's very interesting. So, of course, our big idea is to try and bring these other teams basically down and we can just dominate the league. We did last time. I think we won the league every single season last time. We won league, the second division in the first season, got promoted, and then we literally won the top division every single season moving forward and just got stronger and stronger and stronger. So that's currently what the club situation looks like. We can have a look at the nation as well, if I can find a player. There we go, Gibraltar. So they're currently 205th in the world rankings, which I believe is joint bottom. It is joint bottom. So they've got a bit of work to do. But you would imagine the first victory they get will start to move them up. They've literally got no points. And this is mainly because Gibraltar's only recently been added onto the FIFA rankings. They've been added as part of FIFA recently, which is why they've only just been in their first set of World Cup qualifiers recently as well. So, of course, the first couple of games, they might get a point. You never know if they're lucky. And they can start to move up this rankings and start to get a bit higher up, which would be cool as well. Right, so that's essentially where we are at this point in time. We can now have a look at the team. Now, I believe a lot of these players are probably real. I don't think any of these are going to be regen. We'll have a quick look. I don't think any of these are regen. So as you can see, a lot of the players are Spanish because Gibraltar is very, very close to Spain. But we do have some Gibraltarian players here as well. So sorting by position, we've got 2 goalkeepers. We've got Alvaro Hernandez. Looks pretty decent for this sort of level. Of course, if you don't play Foot Manager too often, you'll know that these stats are anywhere between 1 and 20. 20 being world class, 1 being basically barely able to do anything whatsoever. So he's not a bad player actually. The other goalkeeper though is not as good. He's a regen. Although he's a regen, his stats aren't quite as good. But apparently, according to the scouts and the coaches, he's actually a better player. He's got a superb rating for the senior team. So we'll have to try both those out and give them a little bit of a go. We can actually have a look at that, can't we? If I look at squad info, is that right? No, not squad info. Not stats. Is there coach? I'm sure there's coach reports. There we go. Okay, so let's actually sort this by this, right? So Craig Blake apparently is our best player according to the coaches. Our second best player is Eusebio, who's a left midfielder. That's pretty good. 12 crossing is pretty good. Good first touch as well. Decent dribbling, anticipation, really good determination, leadership. Means he's going to be a good captain for us. Good passing and some good physical stats as well. So up and down the wing, Eusebio is definitely going to be a strong player for us, actually. I'm quite happy to have him. Then there's Rafa, who's a player I remember from a couple of years ago when we did this before. He's a right back. See, his stats aren't that good. He has got 12 tackling, good leadership again, and some decent physical attributes. But apart from that, he's lacking a little bit. But it's not bad. We've still got the right stats that we need. Heading and marking are 2 of his better stats, as well as tackling. So he's not actually that bad. But maybe not quite as good as I was expecting. For what he is, anyway. Alexis Sanchez Perez. Now that's quite good. I like that. He's got the stats again exactly where they need to be. Good crossing, good dribbling, good first touch, good corners as well. Passing needs a lot of work, to be honest. But again, good physical stats up and down that line. Again, another good leadership player. So possibly we've got a few players here that could be fighting it out to try and become our captain maybe. Right, Antonio Ledezma. He is a left back. Left back in the changing rooms. He's not too bad. He's not great. He's got good potential ability. He's only 19 years old. We've got to remember that. So he's got good potential. He might be a player who grows into it a bit more. Decent stats around, but we'll have to give him a few games and see how he gets on. Ivan Garcia. Oh, that's nice. I like that. Centre back, right. He's got the stats. He's not got great stats elsewhere, but he's got the stats exactly where you need them. He's got 13 heading, 13 marking, 11 tackling, good decisions, good positioning. Not very good physical stats at all. Only 4 strength for a centre back is pretty poor, I must admit. But apart from that, he's got some really good stats. I like him. Next, we've got James Elul, Gibraltarian. Again, a good player actually. Never left and right midfielder, can play on both sides. He's got good crossing, good dribbling, good first touch, good passing, good technique, decent physical. He could actually be a really good player for us as well, actually, James Elul. Brian Fernandez Perez, striker. Here we go. Getting into our goal scorers now. So he's got 13 finishing and 10 heading as well. 11 techniques, pretty good. Decisions, determination, flair, all pretty good. And again, some good physical stats. I believe this guy should score a lot of goals for us, to be honest. I quite like the look of him. Antonio Postigo. Oh, another very good striker, actually. I'm liking this guy as well. Good stats, exactly where you'd want them. Maybe his vision and positioning are not fantastic. Concentration, composure, not great. So it looks like he's got good attributes, but maybe might just crack under the pressure. But you never know. Could be a good player. Caleb Muscat, central midfielder. Maybe a bit more of a defensive midfielder. Maybe good marking, good passing, half decent tackling, good work rate. Maybe a good defensive midfielder. Again, pretty low strength. Quite sure why these players are quite weak, aren't they? We've got Pepe, not the Pepe, but a right attacking midfielder. Half decent, not fantastic, but definitely do something for us this season. Alvaro Hernandez, another Spanish striker. Again, 11 finishing, 11 heading. They've got a lot of good technical players, Europa point players that could do some very good work for us this season. Alvaro Serrano, we've already looked at him, are we, the goalkeeper. Jose Antonio Campoy Lopez, the man with many names. Again, probably a prospect, I would say. Not one of our strongest players. Good dribbling, decent enough crossing. I think he'll get a bit of football this year, but maybe not as much as some of the other wingers we've got. Benjamin Wilkes is on the transfer list apparently, and I can see why. He's a little bit lower rated than some of the other players we've got, but maybe a decent backup, and he can play several positions, which is quite useful. So maybe a bench player would be very useful for us. Manuel Garcia Sanchez, right, goalkeeper, striker again, another Spanish young striker. Good finishing, good first touch, good leadership, good off the ball. So that'd be good. He should be getting some good positions, I would imagine, but only free positioning, so maybe not. His physical stats are awful. He does need a lot of work, I think. Gerardo Lopez Rico, another centre back again, pretty decent centre back. We've got 2 centre backs in our first team. Is that by the looks of it? We'll have to have a look at that. Good heading, good marking, tackling needs to work on a little bit. Determination of 1. He literally just breaks at any sign of difficulty by the sounds of it, doesn't he? Oh god. And then Yannick Baglietto, Gibraltarian right back. According to his coach report, he's not very good, but stats wise he's probably one of the better players we've seen so far, to be honest. Good crossing, good first touch, good corners, good decisions, good leadership, natural fitness, pace and acceleration. That's not bad at all. Now I will say a lot of these stats, a lot of these players should be the real players. However, the stats are randomly generated, I believe. So I wouldn't read too much into it. If you are a player for Gibraltar Point, then I don't know what Gibraltar Point. You're a point. I don't know why you're watching my videos for. You must be better things to do in your life. But yeah, if you are a player from there, then that's why the stats are the way they are. Right, into the reserves. Let's have a quick look at these. Now, these are some of the younger players. Then these will be some of the regen players. Let's go for the agility. Let's go for the ability again. Right. So what we're going to do is we are going to have to move some of these players up, because as you can see, there's 2 players here with 4-star ability, which are probably better than what we've currently got. So, Liam Moreno. Pretty decent. Maybe not as many high greens as we'd like, but remember, he's only 16 years old. He's got pretty decent mental attributes and pretty good physical attributes as well, so I think that he should be moved up into the main squad. Now, I've not played much of this year's game. How do I do that? It used to be an overview, didn't it? Okay, I can do it this way, can I? If I right click. Squad, move to senior squad. There we go. Got Tom Varney as well. Ah, he looks like actually a better goalkeeper as well. He looks like a pretty good goalkeeper actually. He's actually got bans in all these cups for some reason. He must have got a red card or something. I think they're literally, when I started the game, 1 friendly match has happened already. Oh, it's not happened though, is it? And apparently he's got bans. We are going to move him up into the first team squad as well then. Mark Jones, right back. Maybe not that outstanding stats wise, but you never know. We'll give him an opportunity. We've only got 1 right back in the squad, so we probably should move him up to the main squad, right? Then we've got some players with very high potentials, actually. 3 with very high potentials. We've got Adam Bakers first. Not outstanding now, but probably a useful player, actually. We might be able to use him a little bit this season. We've got Frank Dickinson, who is a centre-back. And we might move Frank Dickinson up, actually, because we've only got 2 centre-backs in the first team squad, so we will move him up into the first team. We've got Andrew West, who's wanted, actually. That'd be interesting. Who's he wanted by? He's wanted by Lions and Man 62 on loan. That's pretty good. And they're both in the league above us, I think. So that's interesting, actually. So maybe it might be worth letting him go out on loan, to be honest. Although he could be a good player for us. We've got Paul Long, another centre-back. Yeah, he needs a bit of work. He's got very good potential, though, but he does need a bit of work. Leon Shackleton. Good centre-back, actually. Not massive potential, but heading, marking, tackling, all where they should be. So maybe Shackleton should move up to the main squad as well. Tom Harrison. Now, this is a real player by the looks of it. And again, he's got pretty good stats, actually. He's got good defensive stats. Really low strength. Again, I'm shocked at how low the strength is on some of these players. Daniel Rogers, right back. Really good physical. Good work rate, good teamwork. So it looks like he's a real plus for effort, but maybe not great in actually doing stuff. Matthew Scott. This guy's transfer listed. Again, not very good. The two English players we've got in this squad are not necessarily very good, are they? Kaylan Border. Another Gibraltarian player. Another goalkeeper. We've got quite a few goalkeepers, actually. But not fantastic. He's played 2 games. That was last season by the looks of it, yeah, for Europa Point. Alright. Then into the under-21s. Oh my god, look at this. We've got 2 players that are 5-star. Wow. And 1 player's 4. We may have had some very good players spawned in this season for us. Right, Callum Thomas. You, my friend, are going straight in the first team. You can see why they say he's good. 14 finishing. Good dribbling, good first touch, really good bravery, determination, teamwork, work rate. Good balance, good physical stats. This is going to be a good player for us, Callum Thomas. In the senior squad. Peter Sampson, a right winger. Again, you look at those stats. This guy has got assists written all over him. He looks like he could be an absolutely fantastic player. And again, a player who's going to be very, very strong for us this season. So we've actually found better players than under-21s. But that was always going to happen with the way that I've set this game up. Jack Wilkins, another really good striker. We've got so many good strikers this. We might have to play a 3-striker formation, to be honest. Jesse Seen. You are a central midfielder, attacking midfielder. Good determination, decisions and flair. Good first touch, free kicks. Decent passing. The stats are probably a little bit tricky to see properly because they're like, a lot of them are high single digits, getting close to the 10s, which is very, very good. I feel like this player could have a really big future with us, actually, but could be useful. David Dickinson. Oh, we've got to do well with David Dickinson just for the name. Good old David Dickinson. Another right midfielder. Really good mental stats, good physical attributes as well. Technical attributes probably need a little bit of work, but still a very good player, actually. Stephen White, a goalkeeper, looks very good, actually. Looks very, very good. Some really good stats there. Paul Dyche, attacking midfielder. So he's a little bit better than the other one, actually, I think. Good teamwork, work rate, flair. Needs a bit of work on his concentration. And a few of his physical attributes as well. But first touch and free kicks and finishing's looking pretty good. He would be a pretty good cam, actually. Lee Thompson, another striker. He's got 14 finishing, good physical attributes. He literally is a poacher. He's the epiphany of a poacher. Although his positioning's only 1. So he's great at putting the ball in the back of the net. But he might be in your own half when you've got the ball trying to score a goal, I suppose. What's a ball-winning midfielder? I thought it said BMW there for a second. Good defensive midfielder. Right, here we go. I like this guy. Defensive midfielder. Nice. I'm going to put you up because I like having defensive midfielders in my squad. I will actually have one more thing that I remember that I need to tell you guys that I've done. Right, Ben Cook, right winger, not great, but good for bolstering out this lower league. And we've got Pat Marshall, a creative attacking midfielder. Again, needs a bit of work. Right. So now in our... Well, we've got too many players now in this first team squad, haven't we? So what I'm going to do is I'm just arbitrarily going to trust my assistant. And I'm going to put this bottom chunk of players into the reserves. Now that's not going to mean anything because we are still going to use them. What I'm going to do is in my filters I'm going to show all 3 squads at all times, just so we can have an idea of what we've got, because the first couple of seasons is going to be very, very tricky to figure out who the better players are. We do need to maybe have a little look around and play around with some formations and see what best suits the better players, but I'm quite happy with how this is looking at the moment. Now, one other thing I have changed that I do need to tell you guys is that you may have seen it already, the more eagle-eyed ones out there who play Football Manager, we have got the in-game editor running. Now, I'm not running it for anything dodgy, but what I want to do, just to try and make this season a little bit more interactive, is I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to comment down below in the comment section of any video, doesn't matter which one, and let me know if you want to be in the game. If you do want to be in the game, then just give me the name you want me to use. It can be an alias, it can be a real name, whatever you want to do. And I'll rename one of our youth players after you. I won't rename the real players, but I'll rename one of the youth players after you. If you want to select a position, that's absolutely fine as well. But remember, of course, if you do pick striker, for example, there might be quite a few people picking striker, so it might be a bit more difficult. If you pick something that's a little bit more out there, you might have more luck. So what I'm going to do to start things off, was it Scott Riley? Was it a good one? Was Scott Riley a good one? No, it wasn't. It was the other one, wasn't it? The ball-winning midfielder. Was it you? No. Have I lost him already? I've lost him already. If I go then to risk assessment. What's risk assessment? Oh, that's nice. Injury susceptibility. I always struggle with that word. Injury susceptibility. That's the word. Not selection info. What am I looking for? I just had it up a second ago. What is it? Reports. There we go. And age, who's won the under-18s, was that one there, Scott Riley? It was Scott Riley, okay. I'm going to be Scott Riley. How do I rename him? You can rename them, can't you? Otherwise I've just completely buggered up this, haven't I? I'm sure I can. If I go into edit players attributes, I'm trying not to look at any of the hidden abilities or anything like that, but edit players personal details, there we go. So it's going to be called Shabby Gamer. There we go. Shabby Gamer. I am now in the game. Alright, and of course if you guys want to be in the game, then of course like I said, just drop your name down below on what position you want to play, and also a nation as well. If you want to be Gibraltarian, that's absolutely fine. If you want to be any other nation across the world, that's absolutely fine. But of course, remember this is a Gibraltar challenge, so if you're Gibraltarian, you'll probably get a lot more time on screen, maybe, because if you do end up leaving the club and going to a bigger club, you'll still be part of the nation. And one other thing I want to do is I'm going to pick one of the better goalkeepers. So maybe, was it Tom Varney? Tom Varney, you're probably our better goalkeeper, right? I'm going to change you. And people who watch the old WWE 2K18 stuff will know what I'm going to do. PJ Toby, good friend of mine, helped us out with a lot of seriousness. So I'm going to put him in there as well. He loves to play in goal, so we're going to have PJ Toby in goal. So PJ Toby is going to probably be our first choice goalkeeper now. So there we go. It's a bit of a weird episode. We've literally just gone through everything that we got set up, but next time we can come back. We'll play our 3 friendly matches, try a few players out, see how we get on, and get ready for the brand new season. I do imagine we will get promoted first season pretty easily, really, with the youngsters we've got. It shouldn't be too difficult at all. The only thing we might struggle with is keeping a hold of some of these players, because as time goes on, scouts are going to come along, and I should imagine a few of our players have got some pretty good potentials. I think you probably saw the potential of Shabby Gamer. I don't know what that was. I managed to blank it out, so I've got no idea what his potential is. Potentials are between 1 and 200, 200 being absolute world class, 1 being lower leagues of whatever, they like just Saturday league football or something like that. So yeah, it could be a pretty interesting little playthrough this one. Of course, remember to get your suggestions down below, who you want to add to the game, and of course I'll add them all in. Anyway, that's the end of this episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. Of course, if you have, then please do hit a like, and of course subscribe if you want to see some more. This is going to be an ongoing season now, so yeah, stick around. It's going to be a good one. Bye. That was a weird ending, wasn't it? That was really weird.